Ready?
I'm here.
We're recording.
Yeah. Right. All right. So, hi everybody. Welcome to Anthony and Andrew's Body Zoom. The doctors are in. So, I'm just so excited to be here tonight because Anthony and Andrew are two amazing facilitators of bodies. And, you know, they've both been such a contribution to, we have a lot of people coming on. They've both been such a contribution to so many people's bodies and have done so many different sessions and really have these amazing muscles of working on bodies built up over years and years of working on bodies. And this is not necessarily just about this, but I'm so excited that they're coming together to facilitate their first body class in South Carolina, September 1st. So I just had to say it right off the start because it's very exciting, and I know that a lot of people are waiting for it and very excited. But I just want to start by asking you guys a few questions. Andrew, like, what do you see with facilitating bodies that maybe other people don't see? Like, when you look at a body, what are you actually looking at?
A body.
Okay. But like, what are you aware of that people can create with their bodies that other people aren't aware of?
Well, but like, to me, like, all of Access really is about, being a question and asking questions, because a question always empowers and an answer disempowers.
Yeah.
So with the body stuff, it's just taking that and applying it to bodies. So what does that mean, or what does that look like? Well, it's asking your body questions, asking the body what it requires, what it desires, what it needs, and asking, and just going forward with that to see, what that changes or what it creates. Because so often we just decide things of our body, or we want these things out of our body, but we actually don't ask it.
Yeah. I remember one time when I moved to South Carolina, I started putting on all this weight. And I know I'm not a big person, but I started getting tubby in my cheeks, and my body was changing, and I was like, is it because I'm in the South and people eat fried chicken, so I'm taking on those points of view, or is it because of this, or is it because of this, or is it because I've defined that that's what a mom is, and now I have stepkids, and I had all these insane thoughts, and then I was like, oh, I don't have to decide why this is being created. I could just ask my body to change it. And it changed within 2 weeks. So yeah, that's huge. So why don't we actually give our bodies what they desire, or even know what they desire?
Gary just talked a lot about. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you perfectly.
Hello.
Oh, now I can't hear you very well.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear us now?
This is very frustrating. Okay, great. So, a lot of it is because of the definitions we have of our bodies. And I love the question you asked Andrew, Julia, because it's like my whole life, all I've ever saw bodies was possibilities. What was actually possible for people to create with their bodies. And then, my background is I was a personal trainer for 10 years, and I went to chiropractic school. And now I've been an Access Conscious Facilitator for 6 years. And it's you see how much judgment people have with regards to their bodies and all the definitions about what their bodies are supposed to look like or what their bodies are supposed to be like in the world. And there's just so much judgment and lack of joy with having a body. And what I love about the body classes is that they're not only designed to change things with your body as far as symptoms are concerned, but they're actually designed to change things in your entire life. And it really ultimately creates the space so that you have choice, and so that you can be in a question to create whatever it is that you want to create in your life. And at the time I started Access, I was pretty much in the shitter of what I called my life. And going to these body classes actually was like the one thing that was happening in my life that was bringing me joy and was creating ease in my world. So it's like I'm eternally grateful for what's actually possible with these body processes that was not possible in any of the other things I've ever done before.
Cool. That's awesome. So you guys, like, what becomes available to bodies in a 3-day body class that they think you would get anywhere else?
Well, it's just like even the conversation and the energy. It's like, what if, you know, we were looking at bodies from a different point of view? It's like, you know, because one of the things with access is just, it's like, it's ask and receive, but what does actually receiving mean? It's like, well, allowing your body to receive all the energies it's capable of. But so often, like, all we do with our body is turn our body off. And I'm just not like, you know, a lot of times it's like, oh, turned on means you're receiving and you're getting turned on, and that has to do with sex. But what if it's just about receiving and actually, you know, because receiving is the energy of living. And it's like, so having your body turned on actually is more about, you know, not, yeah.
Stop the bus.
What?
Receiving is the energy of living. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah. Receiving is the energy of living. Like,
you got to expand, dude.
No, you know, well, that sometimes occurs when bodies are living, you know, there's exceptions.
They get to receive finally?
But no, it's so oftentimes like what we talk about is, you know, in this reality, we look at sex as receiving. So, and we think copulation with bodies is the only form of, it is sex, and then that's the only form of receiving. But if your body's actually turned on, because that's what we talk about in these body classes, is they're about turning your body on. It's about actually receiving with your body and allowing it to have the energy of living. So it starts creating and generating itself rather than just like, you know, walking around like it's not a machine, it's a living organism.
Totally. Yeah, I was in Walmart yesterday and I was like, I see dead people. It's like nobody in there was alive. They were just walking around, and Walmart is just an ugly place anyways, but it's like most of the people in the world aren't alive. They're actually mostly dead.
You know what starts to happen too, as you have these processes done on you more and more and more with regards to the receiving, is you start to become aware of the different energies that are available to you that you have not chosen maybe at all in your life. So that you'll actually start to not choose those destructive relations to choose, because they don't match the energy of available to you, and that you don't actually have to have abusive relationships or live in abusive relationships anymore. And then you start to put a demand on your life, at least I did for me, that I'm not going to choose certain things anymore because I've been just flat out unconscious in those areas. Yeah. But since the body process is all of a sudden, it's just created more consciousness in my world. And I'm able to see things now that I wasn't able to see before because I was just completely unconscious in that particular area. And there's actually specific body processes designed to help you to attract things and people that are more nurturing to your body. You know, whereas most of us attract abuse and things that are unkind in our bodies. So it's like, it just goes beyond anything you could actually put into words. And I'm just glad to be facilitating this class with Andrew, because he's one of the smartest people I know in Access. And I have a lot of respect for him as a chiropractor. But he knows what's possible with this work. I mean, he didn't even go out and practice chiropractic because, you know, there's just so many more things available that we can be and create for people in their lives and their bodies with all these tools that we're doing in Access compared to just being a chiropractor. You know, I mean, it's just so exciting to be able to have like a godzillion amount of tools to change people's realities.
Yeah. So, there's how many body processes right now? And then
I don't remember. It's like 51,
changing.
I think, 51. At the moment. The manual just got rewritten, so there's lots of new stuff in the manual. lots of new goodies for all.
I've heard it's like brand new, and it's like this action-packed punch of possibility.
And it's always changing, which is beautiful. It's always changing. I want to ask everybody a question, because this is a question that Gary asked at the 9 Trannies, but it's like, this is so true with people with bodies, but how many of you have defined all of your life experiences that your body has been through as your life? And it's like people have not been able to, you know, move beyond what they have already defined as real and true because of everything they've been through, everything their body has been through throughout their life. And it's like, what if something beyond that was actually possible? And that's what we're trying to get people to, is to go beyond the life experiences, beyond the definitions of the things that have happened to them in this particular lifetime. And it's just like, it's just all designed to create space and choice and possibility, which is awesome. So anyway, when I saw that question, I was re-listening to the 9 Trannies. I was like, holy shit, this is like perfect for the body class. It's like, because we have all these definitions based on all of our life experiences and the things that have happened to our bodies.
Absolutely. Sorry, there's so many people. I'm not sure how to make that noise go away when people get on. So,
how do we make that ding ding noise go away?
So correct me if I'm wrong here. There's no such thing as a whole bunch of advanced body processes have gone into the 3-day manual and are now regular body processes.
Yep, they're not advanced anymore because they're in the 3-day class.
Wow, that goes to show you how much bodies are changing on the planet and how much more people are willing to receive. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, it's just, you know, like with all this stuff in Access, it changes. And so what's opening up for people is changing. So the manual, like we change that around as stuff opens up and as stuff changes. So I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah. I haven't actually done the new processes yet. I think this will be my first class with the new manual because I've been busy with things.
That's awesome.
But yeah, bodies, it's, you know, and I like to tell people what's different about the body class is, well, it's a body class. It's not a mind class. It's a class for your body to actually come and actually for you to have a chance to receive, but also for your body to receive and for your body to get that, you know, energy. And to be touched and to have someone actually.
Should we just like stop talking on this call and maybe just like you guys can just energetically touch us for the rest of the call?
Oh yeah, there we go. No,
that's a different kind of energy work.
Okay, yeah. That's more expensive. This is a discount.
That's more expensive.
Yeah. No, but the other thing is, it's so often because people are like always like, well, can you do this by distance or can you do this over? But it's like actually showing up and having your body touch is a different thing. It creates a different, you know, vulnerability and nurturing when you actually show up and you allow people to touch, and so much just comes up with having people touch you. You know? And so having that, you know, and allowing your body to receive, and you know, it's like if you get turned on if your body gets turned on by yourself, it's okay. But when there's someone else in the room and it's in a room full of people and there's a class, it's like, oh my God, what? But it's so funny because, you know, if you just look at it as like we're so often trained to like turn our bodies off or like not get turned on or only get turned on when one specific person touches us because that's okay because we're married to them, rather than rather than your body actually like allowing your body to receive the energies that it requires. It creates a totally different it's just totally different because your body's actually starting to live and to generate itself and to, you know, have the availability of changing.
Yeah. It's interesting because on this call, like normally I'm a very, like I like to think and I'm always like words or something that like is really easy for me. But as you guys are talking, it's hard for me to actually hear what you're saying. But my body is receiving this energy of invitation in a really, really cool way. And I guess that's kind of a invitation, or what the body class is like.
Possibly.
So, it's kind of cool.
You never know what it's like until you show up.
That's true. Especially with you two.
Well, I'll never forget the first time I met Andrew was, I think it was my second body class, 3-day body class. And my partner happened to be, her name was Maria, and my name's Anthony. So if you ever watched the movie West Side Story, right? Anthony and Maria, like the tragic romantic love story, right? And it was funny because the month before that, Dane had called me Romeo, but then he's like, well, are you Juliet? Or he's like, well, we'll just call you RJ, because, you know, I had been fundamentally screwed up in the area of, you know, romance and love and sex and relationships. And so I'm having this body process done by this very attractive woman, and I could start to perceive these energies rising up in me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to get a crush on this girl. These are the same insane energies that typically happen with me with regards to women. And it was like, and as silly as it may sound, but it's like that had been an Achilles heel my entire life. And I started to get to look at how insane I was in that area. It's like, how could you start developing a crush on someone just from running a body process? But when you're not familiar with receiving, as Andrew's saying, it starts to get confusing in your head. But at the same time, it became an opportunity for me to start to look at those things that were a limitation in my life, and where I kept making insane decisions, and where I was really giving up a lot of my power over to, let's say, an enjoyable other, you know? So it was like, it was really cool because it gave me an opportunity to look at places I was functioning from where I was totally unconscious. And it was just kind of perfect because it was Maria and Anthony, or Anthony Maria, the tragic love story. What's that story?
It's almost like the universe planned it.
You know,
well, yeah. I mean, you know, and you ask, you know, you never know how it's going to show up, but it's like when you ask to change the things that are limiting you, they will show up in these classes.
So, Anthony, I asked Andrew this question at the beginning, and I was going to ask you too. I would love to hear, but like, what do you see as a possibility with bodies?
Just really just the destruction of the limitations, the destruction and the, you know, the dissolving of people's abuse that they've had, and just creating the space where people can actually begin to enjoy their bodies and their life again, and actually receive. It's like, if you can't receive, how the hell are you going to enjoy your body? You know, it's like, what's the point of having a body if you're not going to have fun with it and enjoy it? Now, what fun is for your body, it's different for everyone, okay? I'm not talking about different points of view, but I'm actually talking about, just like Andrew was saying, is not just being turned on from maybe someone you'd like to have sex with or copulate with, but actually having your body get turned on just by someone being in your presence, or maybe by receiving money, or by having, you know, delicious food or delicious drink. Having those types of things turn you on. Or when you go shopping for clothes, you start to choose things for your body that are going to turn your body on, because you're actually in communion with all the molecules, but not just someone you're going to have sex with, but you're becoming communion with everything. You know, the house you buy, the car you want to drive, all these things start to speak to you and your body, and then you start choosing from a different place. So to me, that's what's possible, is just more joy of embodiment.
I want to know, how many pens do you have? You keep switching from like highlighter to like pink pen. What's going on there?
I have these 3.
Okay. I was just curious. I was like, what's next?
I didn't even realize I was grabbing them.
I was like, this is a great presentation.
People's butts in the stores. It's like, I've been going to so many access classes, I started grabbing random people's asses in the grocery store.
What?
Yeah.
No,
it's just
he gets money from it. It's product placement. I saw a sign there.
Product placement?
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess that's how you keep Walmart interesting, Anthony. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
exactly. All those
Walmart
dead
and Publix.
people in there.
No, and you know, if we're talking about like the definitions and stuff, like it's like we all have these definitions of what your body turned on means, or what it doesn't mean, or what you're supposed to do with that and what you're not supposed to do with it. And it's, you know, your body has the great ability to facilitate you to more consciousness and more awareness, but so often we actually don't allow it to, or receive it as such. We just usually blame our body or make our body wrong, or like, you know, like Julia said, oh my God, I'm gaining weight. This is such a problem. Like, it must be because I'm in the South and there's so much fried chicken. Like, it's
just a little insane over here.
Just a little bit. You know, but these are all the things we go to with our body, and then we go to doctors and we go, okay, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong and how do I fix it? You know, all of which is just even more fun. You know, but I'm a doctor, so it's okay. You can keep doing that.
It's not putting you guys out of business.
Yeah. But what's interesting, it was like our profession, you know, not the access, but the chiropractic profession, it's like, it used to be about possibility, you know, and it's like, and then it became so like, you know, mechanistic and linear and so much form and structure that it actually, it's just, I don't know. It's, so for me, it wasn't as much fun. And you couldn't do things. I wasn't able to do things with people's bodies and really for their lives the way that we can with these processes, because there aren't any definitions. That's why a lot of these body processes don't even have like a meaning behind it necessarily. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, it's like just follow the energy. It's purposely not talked about or defined because we want you to experience the energies for yourselves. And whatever's going to come up is whatever's going to come up. And that's your opportunity to change whatever it is that you've been desiring to change. It's just awesome, man. It's just so much fun.
So good. So good.
It is so good. It's like,
oh
I'm containing myself, but I'm ready to just strip my clothes off because it's so good.
Now, for the last 5 minutes of our Zoom, will you guys just sit there and make noises that will turn our bodies on?
Yes, it's that sounds like some kind of like, you know how they have like sound, like different like laughing yoga or something. You have like moaning yoga or sound effect yoga. Like, I don't know.
It's very healing, I hear.
Oh, it's very healing, I hear.
Andrew laughing like a whale and snorting.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not designed. It's
we haven't heard your laugh today. I'm kind of waiting. Like that little snort where you go.
I'm withholding
now.
And
Andrew both have the same laugh. It's like the male-female version of each other. It's pretty cute.
Who do?
You and Andrew. Probably the best laughs on the planet.
Julia doesn't really need to laugh because she has a laughing photo right now. So that just, it's like thing. It's about the energy, guys. So you can just get it, you know, that way.
She's laughing so hard she's falling over.
Oh, that is true. I was kind of wondering. I was like looking at it, wasn't sure. Like,
well, the reason you guys can't see me is because Anthony and I are in different rooms of the same house on the same internet. So I was making us break up when you could see me because there was just so much video going on.
Yeah, because you were hogging all the internet.
Totally. So I figured that I think most people really want to see Anthony. So
I did personally.
Yeah. I don't want to keep that beauty from the world.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like with the body classes and just within bodies in general, what if it was really, you know, more not about like, it was more about fun and more about what you could just choose or change different. And it was easy, because so oftentimes we get into this difficulty with bodies and we get into this like just thinking about what's wrong with our body and then thinking about how we're going to change what we've decided is wrong with our body. And all of a sudden we end up in this place where we just hate our bodies and we judge it constantly. And then we judge it more to try and get out of the judgment that we have of it. And, you know, what if there was just a different possibility available?
It can be a very, very insane area. Is there any final kind of things that you guys...
I want to... Anthony, what was your first body class like?
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh man, my very first class. It was. I
What
didn't
was
know
it
what
like
to.
getting your cherry popped?
Well, I'll tell you what it was, and some people kind of scared me because you're like, there's certain specific contacts that are kind of personal, and I'm like, oh yeah, what's that? And they told me, I'm like, oh my God, that's really weird, and I'm like, am I gonna have to take off my clothes? And and they're like, that's what they made it sound like. What am I gonna do? I don't know if I can do that. So and then sure enough, my body picked that particular body process. I don't even know what it was. And anyway, so, I received it and I got the hell out of there as soon as I possibly could because I was so uncomfortable. I mean, I was really green. I was really new to Access. But it was one of the most empowering body process that I'd ever experienced in my life because like the next day after I got over being uncomfortable and that whole vulnerability thing, it was like I had to do a public speech, right? And speaking in front of large groups of people has never been something that was very easy for me. And so here I am, I have to give this talk to a bunch of people who are completely not interested in anything that I have to say. And yet I walked out there with this level of like confidence and potency that I'd never had before when I spoke to an audience that I knew was not interested in what I had to say. And I just said it without a point of view. I didn't care what they thought. I didn't care about the judgments. And it was just amazing. And I know that it was as a result of that particular body process that I had because I was willing to be vulnerable. I was willing to receive the body process. I can't remember the name of it. All I remember is the contact points, but it changed things. It changed things in my body and it changed my level of potency at that particular time in my life. And I'm really, really grateful for that. And as a man, it like turned areas on in my body that had been turned off because I had turned them off because of all the trauma I had been through with the suicide of my first wife and all that stuff. And, everything was shut down in that area. So as a result of having that process
Which
done,
area
like
are we talking about? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, I was just going to ask for more
here's
details.
The highlighter. I'll point with the highlighter. It's down there.
Are you highlighting the area?
Product placement again. Product placement.
Product placement, yes.
But no,
Can you guys show how it's gonna look like body process? How the class gonna look? Can you give us a sample?
Yeah, it looks like this. If you happen to have one of those. If you don't, then it's other thing. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh my gosh.
But it's everything that we talked about. It's about receiving. It's about having your body turned on, but not just in the sexual way. It's just, it's like when I walk in nature, my experience in nature is completely different now than it used to be before, because it's like, I could experience the receiving from the trees and the flowers and the plants and the animals, and it turns my body on in ways that, I would just say, oh yes, that's pretty, but there was nothing visceral happening in my reality. And now all these visceral things are going on as a result of just my body being turned on from just about everything.
Yeah, but it's not, this like, oh, I'm going to go have sex with this tree. It's like, oh, I'm actually, able to, like, you receive things in a different way and you actually allow them to contribute to you and to contribute to your body. Which is, and it's such a foreign concept because I know, like, when I started, I'd be like, what are you talking about? But it's like, it's like I used to see people, just like art or in nature and stuff. It's like when you have a sense of peace, when you actually allow them to contribute to you and to contribute to your body, it's a totally different, experience. Or I don't know what the word is, but
completely. Well, you're just happier. It's like all things begin to make you happy, not just one thing. You're not seeking that perfect relationship to have happiness, or it's like you start to become happy with everything that you're doing, and just your level of gratitude for everything goes up as well. So it's just, I'm super grateful.
There you go.
And
everything goes up after a body class.
You see.
I'm bad.
So,
I apologize. What? Yes.
You said earlier that you don't have to go have sex with a tree. can you, if you want to, have sex with the tree after the
Hey,
body?
you know what? As long as the tree's consenting, you know what?
Yes.
Just wanted
On
to.
that note,
I
a
don't
friend
need-
of mine from Cuba told me young boys drill a hole in the palm tree, and yeah.
There you go. So apparently, there's probably, you know, methods of going about it. I don't research this thing on the internet, but I'm sure you can find out if if you want to know about how to make love to a tree. I think that's, where
Just
you,
make sure you ask questions before you have sex with the tree. The 4 questions, will it be easy? Will it be fun? Will I learn something? Will the tree be happier afterwards? Will I be happier afterwards? I mean, you may not be happy. You may have splinters depending on what kind of tree it is. If it's a palmetto tree like our trees down here, you could have lots of splinters. So
it could have some thorns,
Yeah.
it'll be,
but some of you go there with people too, and you walk out of there with splinters as well. So I don't know. You may.
there you go.
Sometimes the tree is the better choice.
So maybe you should get to know the tree first, have a nice little picnic with it, first or something.
a little courting of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Well, for those of you who aren't terrified of these two by now, we would like to invite you to this amazing class. These guys are, I've never seen anything like it. And the level of lightness and the level of humor and the level of fun that they are and how much
sexualness.
Yep, and sexualness. It's like it's not a reality for a lot of people, and people aren't willing to be this outrageous and have this level of freedom. And it's like, what would it be like if you were willing to have a level of freedom that other people don't even want you to have because it makes them uncomfortable and it's not part of their reality?
And it's naughty and bad.
There you go. Apparently, the conversation got Anthony to it. And his,
anyway, so I don't know. I'm digressing a lot here, but it's like, but so much of this stuff is stuck in our bodies. It's all these definitions. It's all the abuse. It's all the projections. It's all the expectations. It's all the right and wrongs of what you can and cannot do with your body. And it's all bullshit. It's all lies.
It's all the splinters from all the trees.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. So if that sounds like fun to you, check out our body class or one of the 3-day body classes, because they're all over the world. And so if you can't make ours, there's plenty going on all over the world, and they're a fabulously good time. And
cool. Well, thank you guys so much for putting this on and for being willing to gift people this invitation and, all the information. I mean, you guys gave a whole bunch of information just in this call. So thank you for sharing all of this for free for people. And the world is lucky to have the both of you. So thank you guys.
Cool. Thank you.
bye.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.